Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. Let me just shout myself out here on Discord because I don't have robots for this stuff yet. Speaking of which, that's not how we do that, is it? Hang on, hit that button. Discord, if you wish to join, those who wish to join, please do. You will get all the announcements. So, how are we doing? How are we doing? So yes, so those who are joining, I know my schedule says Witcher 2, and I will be getting back to that, but on the Discord there seemed to be a bit of interest in cutting over to something else on Monday. So my current plan, and by all means feedback in chat, let me know what you think, or join Discord and shout there, but my plan is that I might do a day of, I stream at the moment, I stream 3 days a week, so I'm streaming Monday night, Thursday night and Friday night, and I originally planned to do some Mass Effect on Monday, but there seems to be a bit of interest in KSP, so I'm going to start there and see how we do. I have a bit of anxiety about streaming KSP because some of the things that pro streamers do in KSP is absolutely mind-boggling, and I'm not at that level, but I do enjoy it. It's a great game, so there's that. Mass Effect, I do enjoy. I love Mass Effect, so that's good fun as well. But my, did I say Monday, Thursday, Friday? No. So Monday, Tuesday, Friday. So Tuesday is my retro stream. So currently that's Resident Evil 1, 1996 original edition. Today is going to be Kerbal Space Program, possibly becoming Mass Effect in the future. And what are we doing here? I'm getting alerts that I'm dropping stream here. Let's see how we go. So let me just quieten this thing off so it doesn't beep away in stream. So yeah. So Tuesday's my retro thing, and Fridays will stay as The Witcher. I don't actually stream Thursdays. Sometimes I stream Thursdays, but I'm not scheduled to. But yeah, do feel free to feedback. Anyone who's if you're not feeling the Kerbal Space Program as we get into this, shout on chat, because I'm up for sort of moving around and changing games and working out what the schedule's gonna, or what we do on the schedule, how that looks. So I kind of want to be led by you guys. So yeah, and now I'm trying to work out and decide what to do. Now I have an existing save, but I'm inclined to go, so there's a few different types of playthrough in Kerbal Space Program. You've got career mode, which I don't think it's not my favourite way to play, because you have to manage all the money side of it. You're basically running a business. You can run out of money and not be able to launch any rockets, which it adds a layer of challenge to the game, and it's a good feature to have, and I have played it, but it does limit the sort of more crazy things you can get up to, because it has to be a profitable mission. You've got to achieve stuff. Meanwhile, we've got science mode. Science mode is where you don't start with the whole tech tree. You have to unlock and research. So you get science points by exploring the solar system. There's a degree of grind on that as well, but it's not as bad. And you have to unlock parts, so you start with really basic rocket parts. And then finally the sandbox, where you've got all of it. But at the same time, so you've got the whole tech tree, you can make the most advanced stuff straight away. But there's a limit to, the point of it, almost, because there's nothing to unlock, there's nothing to achieve. So I'm personally inclined to go with science mode for this playthrough, but I'm happy to be led by chat. I'm going to give it a little bit, hang on for a little bit. I'm also getting notes from OBS here. Consider turning down equality. Can I do that in stream? Let's have a quick look. So my poor laptop is having to recommended changes. Bitrate looks okay on Twitch's analytics though. I think we might be okay. So what flags do we have these days? You can upload your own, and actually I'm a little tempted to do that. I just can't remember what how to do it. Hang on. How do we upload our flags? Game data, inside root directory, open it. Design. Setting the design. Right, so scale it down to 256 by 160. Well, we can try that. Let's try one of my follower emotes, not emotes. Where's my? There we go. Right. Okay. So. Let's see. So if we could open paint, no. Does it have to be a bitmap? Let's leave it as a JPEG then. And then what we're going to have to do is no, that's not what I'm doing. Image properties in pixels. What are we doing? 256 by 160. So let's see. Well, that didn't work at all. Is there not a scale option? This is what happens when you do your stuff in Paint. Size on disk. Yeah, I don't think it's going to work. I do not think that's going to work. We might have to stick with the UK Space Agency on this one, guys, because that's where I'm based. Okay, let's do this. Let's do this. Let's get started. So, fresh new science playthrough. Let's see. So, we've got our tech tree, which is basically, you know, the very first opening pieces and nothing more. Moose, hey, how you doing? Good to see you, buddy. How's it going? So here we have Kerbal Space Program in all its glory. All its simple at the first glance and massively complex as you get going glory. I was just saying, Moose, I've gone with a science playthrough where there's 3 types of playthrough. All good. Finish the homework. Nice, nice. Yep, doing well here. Doing well. Work is over, thank God. It's been a bit crazy today. Good to be at the end of it. Yeah, so the science playthrough means that you don't have to worry about like the finance side of things, so what a rocket costs to launch and things like that, but you do have to unlock, that's the wrong button, you do have to unlock technologies. So you start like right at the bottom of this tech tree and you've got to, you know, to get all the coolest stuff, you've got to unlock all this stuff by hello Nightbot, yeah. So that's what I thought I'd do, because it gives you a sort of reason to go to like the moon and various places to gather science, which you can then turn into technology for your next missions. The flip side is doing a sandbox mode where you just have it all, which makes for making really big cool rockets straight away, but kind of leaves you with no particular reason to go there because there's no science to collect and nothing to do. So I don't know, what do you reckon? Do you want to stick with the science mode and we go through it, or do you want to just see the big cool stuff go boom? Because it will go boom, because I'm a little out of practice on this. Any thoughts? I'm starting to second guess myself actually, and I'm starting to think that maybe a sandbox playthrough might be more fun for you guys to watch, because then I can go straight, I don't have to muck about in like on our planet, we can go straight off to the moon, and because this is our planet Kerbin, and it's like a scaled down solar system. It's not as, to make the game more achievable for non-astrophysicists, it's scaled down gravity and things, so it's, Kerbin is, I think it's like a tenth of Earth's gravity, something like that. We've got 2 moons, so you can look at our moon here. We can go and land on that. We also have an even easier moon to get to, though a bit further away, called Minmus. And then of course there are the planets. Moho, Eve, which is, so that's the Mercury equivalent. I haven't actually played this since the new textures, so I'm actually quite looking forward to going there. And we've got Eve, which is essentially Venus. And Juno, which is Mars. And more besides. I won't go through them all now because we're not going to get all of them today. So what do we reckon? I'll tell you something else. I'm going to drop the music volume down a bit. Because... Oh, you dropped. Oh no. Your internet. Man, that must be a pain. Music. Let's drop the music down a bit. There we go. Right, I've changed my mind. I'm not sure how much you were there for, Moose, while I was chatting away to you. But I think I'm going to go and do a new game in sandbox mode so that we've got all the toys. Just because we can get stuck straight into it, basically. Oh, let's give it a name. Kerbal Remedies. Let's do it. New router, you think? Yeah. You missed the whole explanation. No, it was me just chatting away about whether or not I should do a science playthrough or a sandbox. Science means you've got to unlock the tech tree, which is this. I can't show you it because I've just changed to sandbox, but basically means you've got to unlock all the different rocket parts and stuff, which is fun, but at the same time means that you have to start on this planet with tiny little rockets and stuff. So I think what we'll do is we will kick off by going to Minmus. So we've got to build our rocket in the vehicle assembly building, which, if you've followed, if you're familiar with any of the NASA setup and all that, it's heavily based on that. So I'm a little rusty, so we're going to keep this fairly simple. I say that, I massively over-engineer all my rockets, so pros of this game will be looking at it like, you're going to Minmus, why are you taking like all this stuff? But, it's the way I do things. Where on earth are the parachutes? We need parachutes. Surely they're not utility? No. Parachutes. We're definitely going to need the parachutes, guys. There they are. I'm missing them. There we go. Right, so here's our command pod. And we've got a parachute, so the guy's not going to die on... does it get super sciencey? No, well, not really. I mean, it's more fun than science homework, I promise that much at least. So we're going to need a heat shield. That's too big. That's also too big. That's what we want. Because we do have re-entry heating. That's not a god damn it. This isn't a heat shield, that's a heat shield. There we go. So we've got our heat shield. So we'll survive re-entry. And actually I'm going to bring back a little science too, because you know, you got to do it, right? Got to have a reason to be going there. So we should have a cargo bay. There we go. Now, next up, we're going to want a little bit of fuel and a little rocket. So we've got all the rockets open here. Lots of different, but Terrier's my favourite. Lots of gimbal, which means we've got lots of... You got to slide a tin of beans down a chopping board in the name of science. There's all sorts of things you can do in the name of science. It's amazing. So, what was the goal of that then? What were you trying to prove or test, or whether or not the beans would still taste good at the end? We're going to need some power, so I'm going to put this nice big battery in there, and we're going to take some science. Now I'm going to take I'm going to take 2 mystery goo units out here, and we're going to take let's see, measuring the angle at which tin moves or something like that. Yeah, experiments are always slightly random. Yeah, well, that makes it fun, doesn't it? We can take a... oh no, we don't want 2 of those. Give me that back. Actually, no. Let's keep it simple. So we've got that, and we're going to have... we can take some... how much science does this have? So it's got parachute and a jetpack. We'll need both of those. So what we want is a cargo storage unit. How big is that? Quite big. Alright. Okay. And we're going to need a way to communicate. That's more than adequate for the moon, or Minmus. Okay. Now this sucker's going to be landing on the moon, so we're going to need landing legs, such as these dudes here. And we'll start them retracted. And then it's all about more boosters, which is the meme for Kerbal Space Program, if nothing else is. So we're going to have a... And this is where we start getting into the science, because it's so easy to over-engineer this stuff and wind up with getting burned by the rocket equation. So I can't tell you, I can't explain the rocket equation, but I can tell you the effect. The snag of the rocket equation is that the more fuel you take up, the more mass you have to lift, because obviously the fuel has mass. The more mass you have, the more fuel you need to burn to get that mass in space. So there's this tipping point. It's like a curve where you sort of, as I understand it, not a rocket scientist, there's a point where you can have so much fuel, you need your thrust to weight ratio, you need your, there's a limit to everything. You can't just put more fuel on, certainly in the real life. To a degree you can in Kerbal Space Program, because it's a little bit more forgiving than real life. So we are going to, I'm actually just going to get the delta V chart up to remind me, and hope that it's still valid. Right. Okay, so the moon, or Minmus, we're doing Minmus. Need a total of 4670. I think that's return, but it doesn't take much to return. So currently we have 486 meters per second of delta V. That's the amount of change in velocity. We need 4,670 to get to Minmus. So we're short yet, but that's not surprising because we've only got one engine on the damn thing so far. So that's for this stage up here. Our thrust to weight ratio, that's fine because that's, hang on. Thrust to weight ratio, 33, oh that'll be an atmosphere, won't it? So complicated. So we can try to remember how to set that. You can tell it where, yeah, so in a vacuum suddenly we have 1971. So by the time we get into space, this stage has thrust to weight ratio of 1.35, so it's enough to lift itself and more, and has 1971 change of velocity, delta V. So that should be fine. On this sucker, we're going to need to get out of Kerbin's atmosphere. We need 3,500. So let's have a quick look at what's good here. So we've got first attempt at a highly advanced engine, repurpose an upper stage engine. No good. Want a lower stage engine. We want you. No, that's for later as well. So. This thing's got lots of thrust, but not quite enough delta V. So let's see if we can just add another fuel tank and see how that does. So now our thrust to weight ratio has gone down because we've added more fuel, but it's still well over 1. 1.5 is about minimum for taking off. Oh, hang on, that's a vacuum. That's no good. So at sea level, I'm 2.4. So that's still good. That's fine. I don't know if I like it though, because I want an upper stage, and this is where I get into this downward spiral of, ooh, maybe I just want not a Rhino. I want you. So an upper stage engine has the benefit of, once you're in this stage, you lose all this mass when it's empty. When you run out of fuel, you just chuck it. which is why rockets like the Saturn V that actually went to the moon had 3 stages. You launched the big rockets that got you out of the initial gravity, that lift you up off the surface of the Earth and up to the sort of stratosphere. Those are big heavy engines with big fuel tanks, and you don't want to cart them all the way to the moon because that will cost you fuel. So drop them. So that's what we're going to do. So we've got a decoupler that can sit. That's not big enough. There. So that looks okay. That you need to check your staging. Right. So our thrust to weight ratio is now 2, which is just about acceptable. Can we do this? I think this will do. It is a bit of a gamble. Get some fins to make it nice and easy to control, and we're going to stick some beep boop science experiment fun in here. So we need one of those. So that's our communotron. We don't need one of those. Don't need that. What do we happen? Yep, so we want one of them. Can I get one in there? No. God damn it. And so I've got a communicator and I've got a monitor jobby. I need a control station. What does this thing cost? Not enough. Johnny, thanks for the follow, man. The host, sorry. Thank you. Appreciate that, mate. So, how am I going to do this then? How am I going to do this? Do I have enough? Right, one thing I absolutely need is a control station. So let's... Oof, that's heavy. And we now need some power for it. And that takes up 1 power. Needs applied power, so that needs a power unit. Okay, and you... So that will power that, and that needs a power unit, and that needs a power unit. So I need a power unit in both of these, and I don't have enough weight for it, which is just like unit. Oh, thanks, Jody. Appreciate that, mate. I didn't realise you're a streamer, man. I'll make sure and host you back, man. What were you playing? Right, okay. I need power in here. Oh, that's annoying. What? Nobody needs trash talking. That's really... Nobody needs that, do they? That's just irritating. Sorry to hear that. We're gonna have, whoops, oh come on, one of them in there. So we've got how many now? So we've got, oh no, didn't mean to do that. You out of there, right. So we have a control unit and we have What are you? That's a power. So control and power. You stream sometimes, not very often. Oh, okay. And lost everything else. Damn it. You know what? I'm not sure this is working for me. Let's just get to the bloody moon. Let's do the fancy stuff later. Mostly Warzone. Okay. Yeah, that sounds fun. Well, is that like multiplayer? You play multiplayer games? I suck at that stuff. I get killed so quickly, it's frightening. Right, so let's save this guy. We can now pick our daring Kerbanaut, which is Jebediah Kerman. He's a pilot. Is that right for us? Yes, I think it probably is for this one. And we can launch now. So before I start, so we're checking our staging here. So we've got, let's zooming out to look at our rocket. We've got first stage, then we're going to decouple that. Second stage, we're going to decouple that, and then we've got our landing and return stage here. And you're going to stream this weekend? Cool. Well, I'll keep an eye out for you, man. I'll make sure and join. If I'm not, am I following? I'll make sure and follow. It'd be cool to catch you. I don't know who's in the chat here, but any opportunity to do a shout out, why not? There we go. New command from Nightbot. Kind of had to try it. Alright, let's see how badly wrong this launch can go, shall we? Right. Okay, so we're going to enable. So SAS is automated attitude control. I don't know what it actually stands for. Stability Assist System, maybe? Go with that. Pretend I knew that. We're going to hook up our throttle all the way up. It's controlled typically with this is like a WSAD type to control your pitch and altitude, attitude. So pitch and roll, and we can see our stages here, and this is the gimbal to show our direction setting. If we had RCS, which I didn't add, which is reaction control system, which is where you might have seen on like the lunar excursion modules in surprised how much COD looks like Fortnite. Didn't COD come first? I don't know. I don't know anything about this stuff. Okay, here we go. Let's kick this off and see what happens. Whoa. Okay, bit wobbly, but we're all good. Good thing about this engine is it's got lots and lots of gimbal, which is the amount of movement we have, so I can control it nice and easily, hopefully. And we're pitching over to 90 degrees is the aim, which is a 90 on this, to the east, so that we're going with the curvature of the Earth, essentially, or curving, so that we get the most out of its rotation. Now the Kármán line, or space line for Kerbal Space Program, is 70,000 meters. So that is our goal. I'm going to throttle down a little bit because we're going a bit fast. Speed here is measured here, so we're slightly above the sound, through the sound barrier now. And we can have our map screen here to show our apoapsis. So looking okay. Clicking down here gives us our current apoapsis, which is, as we learned in Discord today, the our highest point in orbit. Periapsis is currently minus because we're not orbital yet, so we'll crash if we yeah, if we don't circularize our orbit. And I'm starting to wonder if I've got enough fuel here. We're heating up because we're essentially pushing through the atmosphere. We haven't quite got high enough yet. I've tilted over a bit too far, but I was trying to make it efficient. So the trick to getting into orbit and doing space, essentially, both in real life and Kerbal Space Program, is speed, not height. But you do need height to get out of the thickest part of the atmosphere. So the aim is to get up to the right orbital velocity, your speed, to maintain your orbit. And that's our stage. We're mostly there, so 70,000 meters per second. There we go. So our apoapsis is at 80,000 kilometers. 80 kilometers, sorry. So that will take it. We're now in space, or will be shortly. So what we can do now is, while we're cruising up to that point, we can click on our apoapsis and create a maneuver node and plan our next burn. And this burn will get us to orbit. So we want to circularize our orbit. Whoops. So that our perigee is around 80 and our apogee is around 80. So that shows that we've got 635 meters per second of burn to achieve that. So we're plenty. That's fine. And because we've set that, we now have a target to point our rocket at. And yeah, look, we're in space. And our little Kerbal can hop out, and he can do an EVA report from above our planet's water. Now, if we were in science mode, we'd get science points for that. But you know, I wanted to. We wouldn't have all these parts in a science mode. So anyway, we've got a burn time plan. So our burn is coming up in 38 seconds, and it's a 51-second burn. And we want to hit it halfway. So when we've got 25 seconds or so to go, which is any minute, any second now, burn. So this is the burn that we're doing, and when this reaches 0, that should reach 0, because we waited until we had half the burn time to go, if that makes sense. And by the end of it, with a bit of luck, we will have a circular orbit and enough fuel to still get to Minimus. I hope. Call of Duty. Does it involve fish? Right, so that circular move should mean that we are now in an orbit. It's slightly cheaper than expected. Oh no, we're not quite. Let's get that perigee up to over 70 and boom, there we go. Right, so we're in a stable orbit now. It's not perfectly circular, but we could stay here essentially forever. And we can hop out, and we can let go. And have a little inspect of our spaceship. Because none of this sort of, you know, NASA always have tethers and things to their spaceship for safety's sake and all that lot. We made a different stuff here in Kerbal Space Program. We eyeball it and float about and just generally have a bit of fun. And then desperately try to get back, hoping that we don't run out of juice. Oh, bouncing off the thing there. And we can manipulate things. We can have a little check of our... Whoops. And open that and check what's in here. So if we had any little science experiments, which sadly I didn't bring, should have brought some. Oh, I did bring some. Look, here we go. We've got some mystery goo. But because I'm not a scientist, I don't know how to do it, because Jebediah Kerman is a pilot and he's a bit of a dope. So he can get inside. If I can get back to my spaceship. Go on, in, F, grab, there we go. Back in, and we can do some science. So we have mystery goo. The goo seems to have clumped into a sphere, but it also seems to have become brittle. Oh dear. Anyway, all good fun, but what we want to do is head to Mimbus. So we've set that target and we can now plan our manoeuvre. So obviously these things take time. It's going to say a couple of days at least to get up there. I think it's something like 7 days. So we've got to aim for where Mimbus is going to be, not where it is now. If we go there, if we aim for there, we'll get there and Mimbus will be over somewhere. So fortunately we've got the manoeuvre node maker to help us with that, so we can pull out our manoeuvre node tracker here. Whoops, too far, way too far. Not going into interstellar space just yet. Now I've aimed it for where I think Mimbus is going to be, and as you can see I'm not a million miles off, which is good. So this shows where our closest approach, so where we will be when we're closest to Mimbus, and the target will be slightly ahead of us, so that's fine. If we just speed up just a fraction, there we go. Now we've got an encounter. And there we go. Now that burn is quite a big burn, but we've got quite a bit to go, so we should be fine. 927 meters per second, 1 minute burn exactly, that's fine, and we've got 2000 to go, more or less, so that's fine. So thank God, because this could take a long time otherwise. We have time warp. By all means, break into song. You guys seen the Rocky Horror Show? Let's do the time warp again. So we can speed up time by a factor of 100 to speed up this orbit, because we don't want to actually spend several hours waiting for this point in orbit. So node is 50 seconds away, so we want to kick off at 30 seconds. We need SAS mode on, we want to target our node. 32, 31, burn. You haven't, which is weird, you know all the songs, yeah? To be fair, I knew all the songs long before I ever actually watched the show. I think my in-laws went to the stage show lately at the theatre, which traditionally you dress up in drag for that. I don't think they did, but yeah, I'm glad I wasn't there. Let's just say that. So this is a pretty simple rocket, but you can do so much with this. I mean, anything you can imagine, someone has built it, and you know there's so many planets to. Woo. Okay, so I was pretty close there. 0.5 of a meter per second left to go. So let's see. It's always quite hard to get it exactly right. So we still have our counter, and what we can do is we can focus view and see where our orbit's going to take, our trajectory will take us. And then we can plan a maneuver based on that to make it more favourable. See, at the moment, what we've got is what they call a free return trajectory, which means if we do nothing, we'll get or will we? Yeah, we should get slingshotted back into Kerbin. So this is quite safe in terms that for fishnets calling lives in traditional, yeah. No idea about the women. I think they just dress up, don't they? They've definitely got the better deal there. So free return trajectory means that when you encounter the body that you're going for, the moon. So this is what they did for, only much more precisely. NASA did this when they went to the moon, in that if you failed to have enough fuel, say an engine failed to relight or whatever, the moon's gravity would sling you back to Earth. You'd go round the moon and bounce straight back. It was like a figure of 8. This is a much less precise version. So yeah. So what we want to do is add a node, add a maneuver there. And tweak it a bit, so we're gonna need to come down. And we want to tuck this in nice and tight, really. Whoops, that was possibly a bit far. Where's my... This isn't going to be the most efficient, but it'll probably do. Oops, a little bit too far. A little bit too far. You ideally want an equatorial orbit, so that's not too bad. I might try though. Yeah, so if we come out this way, it becomes a little cheaper, if I recall correctly. And the reason for that is... complicated. Or at least I find it complicated. And I'm not... You know what? I'm forgetting that you can use the mouse roll to do it in increments. That's a little bit easier. There we go. Round. We'll do it the easy way. It's going to be a bit eccentric, but we'll manage. 13 kilometers, 13,000 kilometers, adequate. So that'll give us into a roughly, and what we can do is, this is a bypass. Doing nothing will bypass minimus, but if we burn here, retrograde, which is opposite direction to the way we're travelling, we will slow down and allow ourselves to get captured into a minimus orbit, and then hopefully land. And this is a teeny little, because it's because we're not doing this manoeuvre node until we're quite high up above Kerbin's sphere of influence, or quite high up above Kerbin, we're moving slower. And because we're moving slower, the change of velocity is less, it's cheaper. So the slower you're moving, the cheaper your manoeuvres. And by cheap, I mean cheap in terms of fuel. So your fuel consumption will be reduced. The amount of fuel you need to burn to change your direction is reduced. Turn the lights on. I hope he's got Netflix in there or something, because it's, you know, it's kind of going to be boring in there for him. And where are we looking here? This is 9 days in by the time we get to Minmus, so he's got to sit around in there, that tiny little capsule, for 9 days. Gives you an idea what it was like for the guys that actually had to do it, and they didn't have the time warp. There we go. It's sped up several days worth of waiting. Then we can see Kerbin and the moon. Don't know if we'll be able to see Minmus yet because it's quite small. Point at our manoeuvre. Does the internet even work in space? Not this. Well, I mean, we haven't been back there since the invention of the internet, to be fair, but this deep into space? No. I don't think it would. They've got it on ISS. It's probably close to dial-up speed, though, so that's why it's Twitter's quite popular, because you can just sling a tweet down fairly easily with slow dial-up, but, you know, they schedule and send up, you know, videos from family and pictures and video calls are, you know, they have to budget their bandwidth quite closely, I think. But like anything, it gets better and better. By the time we're going back to the moon, I mean, NASA and ESA are partnering with the Artemis program to return to the moon. I think it's due for the 2030s, I want to say. Not sure about that. Oh, bugger. I've missed my window. Should be right. Just do it slowly. So yeah, they're planning to go back, aren't they? So I'm sure by then they'll have some level of internet connection, although it won't be all that, I imagine. And what we want is to just... No! Right, that was the wrong way. This is why NASA don't eyeball it. This is why they have supercomputers work all this stuff out down to the minutest detail. In fact, this is too precise for such a big engine. So I can drop the thrust limiter down a lot to make this sort of manoeuvre easier. Now periapsis 12, yeah, perfect, right. Well, no, not perfect, but not bad either. Quick save. Always remember to quick save. Another advantage of Kerbal Space Program over the real thing. Okay, so we're approaching our apogee, and Minmus ought to be coming into sight. Hopefully. Where the flipping hell is it? This is the trouble. It's easy to get to because it's quite small. Oh, there it is. So there we go. So there's Minmus. Speed up time a little bit to get closer to it. Okay, so we're in its sphere of influence now, but at the moment we're going too fast, so we just skim straight by it. So we're going to whack in a maneuver node here, and whoop, too much. There we go. So let's orient around. So I mean, this is a relatively simple mission to get me back into the swing of it. But yeah, some of the things you have to think about are really, really interesting. So next up, we'll try and do we'll try and build a rover, and we'll try and go to Eve, which is Venus, like a Venus analogy. Analogy, not analogy. Analog. I don't know. You know what I mean. And the first time I went there, it was like a rover that I sent, but I didn't count for the fact that you have to have communication to tell it to, like, if there's not a person on board, you have to have communication to your planet to know to release like the parachutes and things like that. And it lost connection because one of the moons got in the way, or maybe the sun got in the way or something. But basically they were at opposite ends of the orbit, and they couldn't talk briefly just at that critical point. And my rover hit the deck at about 1 million meters per second and obviously blew up, just because I didn't factor into the plan the position of the planets, you know. And this is what I mean by it being, it's not realistic, you know. NASA have a harder job than me. But it does sort of give you an idea of some of the challenges you have to face doing this. It's great. I geek out about it quite a bit. So, without further ado, let's speed up down to our so we've got a 9-second burn. And here's our planet. Or moon, sorry. Moon, not planet. So this is our capture burn. So we're circularizing by slowing down. And ooh, not bad. Not bad at all. Right, okay, so there we go. There's our roughly circular orbit of Minmus. Quick save. We're doing okay for fuel. 294 meters per second. That's lots. That's lots. So the question now is, where do we want to land? We're going to land in these flat bits, they're easiest, or we can land up on the moon, up on the slopes up here on the mountainous region. On Minmus, doesn't really matter because the gravity in Minmus is really, really low, so it's pretty dead easy. So what do you guys think? Where do you want to go? Flats? Mountains? Greater flats? Yeah, my tea's getting cold. Right. Alright, I'm going to aim for the flats, but you'll still have time if you want to... Mountains. Okay. Let's go for this one. So I'll speed up time so that this mountain comes down under the orbit. roughly. Okay, so we are going to, so to slow down and land, you want to burn retrograde, so you're going to turn around with stability assist. You can just point at the different markers. So retrograde is burning away from your direction of travel. Prograde is burning in the direction of travel, so essentially accelerating versus braking. And what we're going to do is add a maneuver, to bring us essentially into contact with the surface. Now the trick is doing it so that it coincides with the rotation of the body that you're going for. I think that'll do it, but this might take a few goes. Let's travel over a little bit. 5, 4, 3, 2. Yeah, I think this will be fine. So still pointing retrograde, we are going to hit that throttle a little bit, and we're going to watch our orbit decay. And what we're aiming for is to land or coincide with the ground, essentially, towards that mountain. So I'm leading it a little bit. Think of it like leading your shots when you're aiming for a moving target, because what I'm aiming for is to get to the ground once this mountain's rotated round underneath me. So hopefully, let's speed up time a little bit, see how I've done. That's our mountain, so that's not too bad. And so what I'm going to do is because we've got quite a lot of fuel, to be fair. What I'm going to do is okay. So we've now got our speed relative to the surface. So we're still going pretty fast, 72 meters per second. And gravity will continue to pull us in. So we will, if I do nothing, speed up until we hit the ground and explode. So the aim is obviously not to do that. Now the cheap way to do it, and the way to do it properly, is called a suicide burn. And it's about as safe as it sounds. And what you do is you calculate exactly how fast you're going to go and cancel it out exactly, so that the idea is you're more or less exactly at zero when you touch down. It can be done in Kerbal Space Program, and it is done in real life by geniuses at NASA. I, however, am going to waste a load of fuel and do it the cheap and easy way. And I actually used up so much there in that burn that I'm actually going up again, but gravity will do the work. I'll start coming down again now. Let's get, so we are 2,700 and dropping meters above the surface. Let's let so we're only 35 meters per second now, which is not too bad. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to detach this stage here and let it fall, I'm going to enable this rocket. I'm going to... Now this would be easier in light. Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, I'm going up again. Jeez. I'm out of practice. I did not mean to be going up again. I will let Earth cancel that out. So you can see by my mouse speed I've overcooked it and I'm going back up again. But we'll let ourselves just fall back down with gravity and I'll control the drop. So we're 300 meters up. Nearly 400. Gravity's pulling us back down about now. There we go. So we're going down again. So the trick is to keep this surface velocity down to under 10 really on this body. Other planets and things with higher gravity are less forgiving. So that boom was quite scary, but it was my the other part of my rocket going boom, not this part. So there we go. We have landed. Let us. We'll turn the lights off because I realised I didn't put solar panels on this thing, so I do have limited electricity. Though I did put a big battery in, so we should be fine. Let's time warp around so we get the sun. And there we go. And we can get out and explore our surroundings. And let go on our jetpack. And there we go. We are Minmus walking, and we can jump really, really high on this little world. And we can plant a flag. Ah, it's in the darkness. UK Space Agency. We came in peace for all Kerbal kind. And there we go. Bit of sun on this light. Are we going to get it? There we go. It's watching the sunset on Minmus. And there we go. So this is like the first one you normally do if you're a Kerbal Space Program, you know, noob. You know, you can get to Minmus relatively easily. It's quite forgiving for landing. And you don't need ladders because you can jetpack. You know, it's pretty safe. And that's pretty much it. So let us head back to Earth, Kerbin. So what we're going to want to do is again go towards 90 degrees, which is sort of this direction. So I'm going to quick save it. We're going to lift off. Because we're on the mountains, we can tip right over nice and quickly. And slowly speed up. And we are homeward bound. So as I say, this is, I'm not going to pretend that this is anything particularly fancy. If you look at Kerbal Space Program videos, there's some pretty impressive stuff out there. This is your first mission, basically. This is what you kick off with. We can go slightly more adventurous on the next one, but it has been a while since I played this game, so it's probably going to be only so much I'll be able to pull off, but it'll be fun. Should be fun. The real hindrance for me is how quickly I can build this stuff, because it's the building that quite often takes time. But often it's the fun bit as well. So there we go, back in a stable orbit. Now to get back, where's our planet? Over there. So I reckon what we want to do is fire off. So we want to slow ourselves down essentially, because we're in a high orbit. We want to slow down so that our orbit decays back into Kerbin's atmosphere. So we'll speed up out of, because we need to escape. We need to speed up to escape Minmus's sphere of influence. But it comes down to where you speed up. So if you do it in the right direction, so you can see Minmus is travelling this way around its orbit. So if we do our burn there, then we're essentially slowing down. We're going the opposite way to Minmus. So we should slow down. And that is shown by the fact that our periapsis is so much lower than Minmus is. And indeed we can do even more. But it only gets you so much. And how much do I have to go over? Plenty of fuel. So let's see if we can do this in 1 meter burn. So our Kerbin periapsis is still pretty high, but it comes down quite quick. So we can aerobrake 38,000 meters. That's well inside the atmosphere. So we can aerobrake like that. So in theory, this one burn of 233.9 meters per second will get us all the way back home. 15-second burn. So let's get around to it. So what do you guys think of it? What do you reckon then? Fans of the game? Not sure? What you expected or not? I freely admit I love this. It's a total time sink though. I mean, I could spend I have spent hundreds of hours. Like 150 hours I've got in this game. Over like 5 or 6 years. They're actually bringing out a new one in the next year or so. But it's quite cool. I don't know if I'll keep streaming this, to be honest, because I don't know. I mean, I'll see what everyone thinks really, but it's kind of like one of those things that everyone's done it already, and so much better than I ever can. But I guess, you know, I enjoy it, I'm having fun. I hope you guys are as well. 7 seconds, close enough. That doesn't look good. Is that right? That's not right. What the hell? Oh god. Oh god. No, don't do that. Don't do that. I have grossly miscalculated. Get up, 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 up. Oh god, oh god. Oh, that's careless. Ooh, that was close. So while I was showing off about my single burn that would take us back to Kerbin, I forgot to check how that would affect my orbit around Minmus. And while it would have got us back to Kerbin, it would also have gotten us to impact, as we very, very nearly did, into Minmus's surface. So yeah, that massive amount of fuel I had to burn to save us there is why Minmus is so forgiving. You wouldn't get away with that on a more efficient mission. And God, we're actually in an escape trajectory now. The game goals, it depends. So I was explaining at the beginning, I know you're unfortunately dropping in and out, but there's 3 types of game in it. It's 3 modes. So career mode is where you're building your own space agency and you've got to worry about the cost of your rocket. You've got to you can take you can take tourists up to pay for your rockets. You can take tourists up. You can like test parts, all sorts. So you do contracts basically to earn money, and there's prestige. So you lose prestige points by abandoning Kerbals in space, for example. Or losing them. If you crash and they die, it's not game over, but it's... What on earth is going on here? It's I want to No. Right. So there's so there's that. And I started a sandbox mode to show you, like what the game's like, what you can do, because obviously you start off with nothing. You've got to build up money. You've got to build up all sorts of resources. You've also got science in that mode, so you've got to research parts. So all these rocket parts you see here, almost all of them, you have to unlock, and you only unlock that by doing science and redeeming that science as points, which is cool. And I like science mode. I was going to do a science mode playthrough for this, so you could see that process, and you can do experiments in space and everything. The only trouble with it is, in the beginning, you can't even get off the planet, really. Like, you can get to space in your first launch, but it's not easy. And even the mission we've just done, you've got to do like 3 or 4 launches to get to Mimas, really. So it's a bit, well, as you say, slow paced. But I mean, we could do that. Or what I could do is, I could check out. I do already have a save game in this that's a little way in. So maybe now I've sort of shown you this, we could go back to the science mode and sort of do missions, and it has a bit more purpose. So this is sandbox mode. So science mode is where you've just got the science to worry about. You don't worry about funding. So you can build as big a rocket as you like, as long as you've researched the parts. Which is my preferred way of playing, because the money can be really difficult. Because you can essentially run out, and that's the end of the game. And I do tend to over-engineer my rockets quite a lot, because I make cock-ups like this. If I didn't have so much Delta V, this would have been catastrophic. So yeah, and then Sandbox, which is what this is a free-for-all. You got all the parts, all the money, you can just build stuff and have fun. So that's what I thought would be best for sort of kicking off this stream. But if you're interested in it, we can do the science mode playthrough and sort of unlock everything. And it takes you through the whole progression. It's a good way to play it for your first run as well, because you're not trying to set yourself an unreasonable goal, like get to Mars or Jupiter or whatever, or their equivalents, because it's just not achievable in the beginning. So it's less there's no risk of just getting demoralised by not being able to do all the cool stuff. There's also loads and loads of mods for sort of making the game more pretty. I haven't included them because my laptop is I have to stream and capture and everything. I've only got the one machine, so I'm not sure how it would handle it, because some of the mods are quite graphics intensive. But I might layer some on. It'd be quite cool to get some cloud mods and some hey, thanks for the follow, ES7509. Thanks for following, man. Really appreciate that. Is it modded? No, not at the moment. I'm up for trying some mods if there's any you'd particularly like to see. But as I was just saying, this is my first run streaming this, and yeah, we'll have to see how we go on that. Whether my laptop can handle it. But yeah, I'd like a couple of visual mods at least. Can you make the spaceships bunnies though? Bunnies? I mean, I nearly did a bunny hop a minute ago when I nearly crashed into Minmus. Not sure what you mean. So, here we go. So our periapse, as we can see here, is 30 kilometers, or 30,000 meters, which is well within the atmosphere. So what we're going to bunny hop's close enough. So the hope is that we'll aerobrake down, and that will slow us down. So basically hitting the atmosphere will slow us down. And add bunnies. So you're right, yeah. No, you can add visual mods, you can add like extra parts. To be fair, all the updates that have been added to this game have covered a lot of the mods, but the modding community is massive. Absolutely huge. Oh god! Alright, I will probably get away with this, but I've just realised that I don't have a decoupler here, so I can't jettison this last stage, which will mean that we'll come in pretty heavy, which may mean we blow up in re-entry, because what I should be able to do now is jettison this part and just use the heat shield that's here, but I can't detach it because I didn't put a mod to allow that. A part to attach it. Yeah, I'm just gonna burn to slow this sucker down. Thanks, ES. You're right. Slow down and hopefully save the day. Just got to keep these overheating bars. I mean, I don't care about the landing gear. It's really only the crew module that matters for this. Yeah. And we can just... Yeah, you're right. Put a little bit of throttle on there and it'll just keep it down. Shift to control, yeah, I know. I was sort of hoping it might burn off the... Oh god, that's not good. Right, we're going to spin it a little bit. And hopefully we won't burn up. Full power, yeah. The trouble is now I can't get myself back to retrograde. And I do not want to speed up. But I might make it. This is not good really. We've still got good... Yeah, it's just because we're not aerodynamic. Now we're hitting the heavier, thicker atmosphere. We can't really control this sort of shape of craft. But we are captured, so we will slow down. And what we should be able to do is, once it's cooled down, we can use the heat shield as a detach. Oh, you think I should put down the gear? Okay. Yeah, more drag. Yeah, good shout, good shout. Maybe just keep a little spin going to distribute the heat a little bit. Because what I do not want to happen... I mean, we do have options, but I do not want that parachute to blow up. Everything else, don't care. We do also have a bailout option as well, our brave pilot can jump. And he has a personal parachute, which was added in, it's not that recent, but relatively recent to me, update to the game. Trying to get into a coast. Don't really have much control. If any. Oh, what's going on? That's no use at all. Okay, we're slowing down. We're slowing down. Now, what we should be able to do is jettison heat shield. And oh, this is going to be tight. No, this is not looking good at all. No. Yeah, you're right. I should have thrusted a bit. I was hoping that it would slow down. So I've just killed Jebediah. Oh, what a way to start this! What a way to start. F in the chat for Jebediah. Casualty. And that was me demonstrating just about the easiest possible mission. So we landed on Memphis, but sadly Jebediah Kerman was killed. Good try. Yeah, it has been a while since I played this game. I'm making excuses here, but yeah, that was. I've had a couple of close calls on this run, and it's the first time I've been chatting away while playing. So, yeah, sad times. Poor Jebediah. Yeah. Well, he went down, exactly the way he likes to go. In a flaming death spiral at crazy speeds. He was enjoying himself right to the last. Yeah. What I don't know is whether or not he comes back. Because that would... I could quick load and try that again. Could I? Let's see where my quick save is. It's a bit cheaty, I know, but I'm new back to the game. I'll demonstrate a slightly more successful landing. Oh, there we go. Oh, we're back on. Okay, all right. Let's try that again. We will have less cock ups on this run. Right, so burn to 90 degrees. Get it right, cant it over nice and quick because we're on the highlands, we're in the mountains, so we've got buckets and buckets and buckets of Delta V. Gotta go. Moose, thank you so much for coming, mate. Do let me know what you think of the game, whether you think I should continue streaming this, whether you'd like to see more of it, or whether you'd like me to go back to something a bit more action-packed. But really appreciate you joining, mate. Really pleased to see you. Yeah, I've overcooked things again, haven't I? So let's do the time warp again. I can't help but sing that when I do this. I know, super original, I get it. Let's do the time warp again. Put your hands on your hips. And take a step to the right. Right. Let's do the time warp again. Get your thrust to max. Boom. Ah, stop. We'll survive it. We will survive it. Let's get right on round to our apogee. Missed it. Bugger. So thanks for coming to see my incredibly efficient and perfectly executed and planned trip to Mimbus. Yeah. And for those who are in doubt, I am being so sarcastic. This is so bad. I can't believe how out of practice I am, to be honest. But I'm having fun. Kerbal Space Program does always put a smile on my face. Even when I cock it up. And I always cock it up. It's been a long time since I did one of these missions properly. Or successfully, I shouldn't say. Ah, no, I've done it again. Where's Earth? Oh. Maybe I should get better time warp on as a mod. Jesus. Right, here we go. Now that pork... This is going to be the longest duration mission to Mimbus ever. 86 days. Like, bearing in mind that I was on there for about 10 minutes. Do we have a... Well, look at that. Oh no, this is new. New to me. New to me. I'm sure it's not new. So it's got an alarm clock. Okay, so what can I do then? So add burn time to margin. Well, let's just see what that does as is. Oh. So do I have an alarm now? So yes, if I'm not sure if you're still here, but you're a veteran of the game. You play it a lot. Oh, no, that's pretty handy, isn't it? I'm liking that. I don't know how to make it go away, but So yeah, it's been a while since I played this, but in the Discord, we were talking about science and space and stuff, and I talked about Kerbal Space Program, and some of the people there were interested in seeing it. So I I thought I'd demo it and show off my my amazing skills, such as they are not. That'll do. You're trying to land on the moon yourself. Okay, so quite new then. Quite new. So I mean, you wouldn't know it watching me, but I have a lot of hours in this game, and I've done space planes. I've done what have I done? I have visited every body. Play it nice and safe this time because I'm not doing this again. So yeah, I've been have I been everywhere? I don't know if I haven't been to Tylo. I never managed Tylo, which is the hardest body in the solar system to land on. You probably know, because of its surface gravity is more or less the same as Kerbin, but with no atmosphere, so no braking, so you need lots of fuel. And I have not done a manned return from Eve. So they're the two like massive milestones. You know, like there's lots of, as you probably know, there's lots of different goals and challenges you can do in Kerbal Space. So you've got all the Easter egg monuments to find. You've got you know, like the Joule 5 missions where you go to all the moons around Joule. So I haven't done that, and I haven't done Tylo, and I haven't done Eve Return, which are Eve Return and Tylo are the two hardest. So Tylo the hardest to land on, and Eve the hardest to take off from. So yeah, let's speed this up. And what we could do, I could try while you're, I don't know if you're playing and watching, or are you just watching? Are you sort of, am I on in the background? Obviously you don't have to tell me, but what I could do is while you're doing that, I could hey Terminal, how you doing? Am I flying majestically through space? Well, technically, not anymore. I've just returned to the atmosphere. What you missed was me returning at terminal velocity and realizing that I didn't have a decoupler in the right place and crashing into the ocean at well over the speed of sound, which was quite fatal for our intrepid Jebediah Kerman. But we have the power of quick save, quick load, so we're trying again. But it does highlight the issue of forgetting a part in your spaceship design. But we've landed on Minmus, which is the easiest body to land in the solar system. I meant to say yes, by the way. If you're landing on the moon, does that mean you've landed on Minmus successfully? Yeah, we've got a shot at landing near the space station, the space center. That'd be quite cool, wouldn't it? Should we try that? We're going to need some thrust. It's not going to be that close. Oh dear. Poor team, but your shipment's quite solid. Yeah, it's almost too solid, because ideally we'd have a decoupler here because we've got a heat shield. But I didn't have a way of jettisoning this bit, so we're kind of cheating. This is not something you'll see NASA pulling off anytime soon. It's just burning a load of extra fuel I've got to slow myself down. to survive re-entry. Yeah, okay, so I'm going to pretty epically fail to land at the Space Center, I think. We'll see, we'll see. Let's... I know, we might. We might not. Right, and then we're out of fuel. Yeah, so you've got a reasonable amount of control, but it would go a lot better if I had designed my spaceship better, to be fair. So yeah, you just missed Moose. He watched my my pathetic demise, and had to go. Hey Johnny, good to see you, mate. I don't know if you managed to see me fairly catastrophically hit the dust. It's... oh, I don't know when you last saw it, Terminal, but it has advanced a lot since I last played it, and I last played it a couple of years ago. So, yeah, there's a lot going on in it. And I'm rather hoping we can maintain our position here, pointing retrograde, and if anything blows up it'll be this stuff. I'm going to take ES's advice and get the gear down just to sort of help slow us down. So we're looking for drag. We want to... pathetic demise. Yeah, I kind of forgot a part on my spaceship and crashed, and this sort of thing happened, which is not good news. So the aim here is to slow down enough to deploy the parachute. And I'm hoping I've just about done it this time. We are going a lot slower, but the ideal would be to drop this part of the spaceship off so that we were, and use the heat shield to slow down, and therefore have a much safer re-entry. But we are slowing down quite considerably here, so oof, this is going to be tight again. Oh, it's going to be tight. It's going to be tight. Come on. Come on, get the nose up. Come on. We want. Oh god, this is going to be so close. Oh god. Ooh, the G-forces. Oh my god. Jebediah definitely has whiplash. He just slowed down from 250 meters per second to 6 in like one go. In like a second and a half. The G-forces must have been absolutely horrendous. But we did it! We made it. God, and that was the easiest, more or less the easiest one to do. That was, yeah, a bit more fraught than it should have been. But we survived. He has landed. He'll never be the same again. No, he won't. He will be crippled, to be honest. I don't think he'll ever walk again, poor sod. But fortunately those sort of things don't happen in this game. Although I think they have added, it might only be in hard mode, but you can turn on blackout so that your Kerbal blacks out if you can't what's the word? If your G-forces go too high, you can black out or red out. So yeah. So because that went so amazingly well, obviously it's time to get more advanced. And what I'm thinking is, yeah, oh yeah, Jolie, he is not good. It's not good. Poor Jebediah. He's going to be in all sorts of physio. It is such a good game. I've always loved it. So when did you last see it? When did you see it? Because I had a friend of mine who played this at in its beta stages, and yeah, he was quite surprised. And in some ways, it's gotten a lot harder. Like the aerodynamics are less forgiving. So that's got oxidizer in it, hasn't it? Shall we? Yeah, we'll keep that. And then what we'll do is we'll put. Do I want? I think I have some oxidizer there. Is this a plane? This is a plane. This is going to be a space plane. As I said, we're aiming higher. And what we're going to do is we're going to try and land on this isn't what I want. This is what I want. We're going to try and land on Juno. Early beta and then pick it up. Then it has changed a lot. That I can tell you. The original developers squad have poured loads of energy into this. It was a real passion project, wasn't it? It is cool. And it's then been taken over. They were bought by Take-Two, I think, and they have added loads of. They've basically looked at the most popular mods, I think, and sort of added features based on that. So we now have like the alarm clock for maneuver nodes, and do I want this? This tofu, angry tofu. Right. So, space planes be hard. Let's have a look at our center of mass. So the center of mass is our yellow and black indicator here. Our center of lift is the blue, and our center of thrust is the purple. Now, I'm not worried about center of thrust because it's always going to be that way because that's where all our engines are pointing. But to be stable, and the trick with space planes to be stable is you want, and I'll demonstrate it, but this won't be our final configuration, you want it to look roughly like that. You did it, you landed on the moon. Congratulations, well done. Have you landed on the moon and got back, or just landed on it? But it's congratulations anyway, man. It's great if you can. Centre of mass too far back? Yes, probably is a bit. So I normally have cargo bays. It's normally a bit lighter. I think what I'm gonna do. I mean, I think you want it reasonably far back, don't you? Let's try. No. So again, it has been a while. I have done successful space planes to Juno. In fact, my YouTube pegging my YouTube here, but my YouTube does have a... Oh god. Yep, that ain't gonna fly, is it? My YouTube does have a video. I actually did it, and this is a bit nerdy. Oh, for God's sake. I did a... I was asked to do a team building video. I work in IT support and IT sort of third line server support. That's what I did at the time. And what I was asked to do a video that would talk about the importance of change control and planning and all sorts of boring stuff that I probably don't want to talk about here. But what I decided on was doing a Kerbal Space Program video where I would demonstrate what happens if you don't plan your projects correctly by, I don't know, forgetting to put decouplers on your spaceship. Or and I did them as music videos, and it got a smile or two out of the team at least, and they liked it because it was a 4-minute video, not a 25-minute TED talk. And let's face it, nobody really wants to listen to anyone talk for that long on work matters, especially not when you've got no choice but to be there and listen to it. I'm going to shorten this. I'm going to shorten it. I'm going to have that one. Come on. I reckon that'll do. I reckon that'll be okay. So, before I worry about... no, we're going to want our... Do we want the delta wings that size? I think we do. Let's lose it. Put. No, I'm going to put. Let's get our mirror back. Okay, so we need our centre of lift behind our centre of mass, but critically, yep, you're absolutely right. Yes, you are absolutely right. But what is also extremely important to check is what it looks like with no fuel in it, because that's what it's going to be like when you come back. And this is how we avoid doing a really successful mission and then having a really, really disappointing end to said mission. Oh god. One thing they really do need to do is improve these things. Okay, that's not too bad. Right. So we have control surfaces. We have our engines. We've got our centre of thrust. That's fine. So this is no good. We need this blue. Our centre of lift needs to be just behind our centre of mass. So let's see how much adjustment we need to make here. And ideally, I would like some control surfaces at the front, but I might have to lose it. So that, I reckon, looks about right empty, but how will it change? Full. You got back at the cost of your entire... Sorry, yes, I missed your response there. You got back at the cost of your entire monopropellant tank. That's the Kerbal way. I love it. Brilliant. Good job, man. Really, really good. Yeah, coming back on a thing, I mean, the only thing more Kerbal than that is, you know, using Kerbal to get out and push, right? Forget wheels, yeah. Wheels help too, yeah. So I think this might be relatively stable. So let's get the grids on then. So we're going to need some solar panels because we're going to need power. We're going to need some comms because why not? It's Juno, we could probably get away with it, but let's get a ladder on there. And test the extended ladder. That's not right at all, is it? Okay. Now, as I was rightly reminded, some wheels, let's see. So we're going to need, I think mediums might do it. Now, positioning matters. We need these back enough that it's stable on landing, but not too far back that you can't get the nose up. So I think we want them behind the centre of mass, but not too far back. I reckon roughly in line with that. So let's go there. These small wheels for the side sets inclined. Yeah, you're probably right. You're probably right. Make takeoff easier, won't it? Bit less robust for landing though. Yeah, okay, let's see what the small ones look like then. Oh, they're a bit measly though, aren't they? I'm worried I'll clip the engine with that, because when it takes off, obviously it's going to be really inclined. I'm going to gamble it. I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong, but I'm going to try and get away with the mediums. Partly, honestly, because I think it looks better as well, and it's sad, but it's true. Right, we want brakes all the way up on the front. Start retracted. Start retracted. What am I doing? Of course we don't want to start retracted. Jeez, can you imagine it on the runway with the wheels retracted? Jeez. Okay. I think we're probably ready for a test flight. What are we going to call this? Anyone got a cool name? You probably smashed the nuclear engine on. Yeah, that's the thing. I've done that. So, I reckon we might get away with this. God, we've been going 2 hours. See, this is just a time sink. I mean, I love this game, but I could spend a day on this and not even notice. Now, we want action groups for this. Now, right. Custom 1, what we're going to do is we're going to have these guys are going to hang on. Oh, there we go. Oh, they're axis groups, that's new. What on earth's that? I don't even know what that is. Custom group, action group. So what we want to do is one's going to toggle our engines, one's going to toggle the rapiers, two's going to toggle the drag chutes and antennas. I've got an antenna. Drag chutes, that's not a bad shout. That is not a bad shout. You're not wrong. Custom 3 is going to be switching the mode on the rapiers and the intakes. And I think that will do. And what we're going to do, we're going to there we go. Right, yep, okay. Chutes are handy. You're not wrong. Let's add some little drogue chutes. There. Right. Any takers on a name? Oh God, I'm so bad at coming up with names. Let's call this the Triumph. Triumph. Yep. Okay, I'll take that. I love the optimism. Triumph Mark 1, because one suspects there may be a couple of iterations of this guy. And engineer and a pilot? Yeah, why not? Should we take Valentina? Yeah. And we've got parachutes. Yeah. Okay. Right, let's launch this sucker and see how it flies then, shall we? Be right back. Well, that'll give me a chance to get the damn thing to fly properly, hopefully. Right, throttle her up. Brakes on, let's spin up the engines. And we're off. Did what I always do. I forgot to adjust my okay. Let's get some height up. Come on, we need some height here, come on. Christ, this thing's a wobbly little bastard. Come on. Hey, welcome back. Well, we've taken off. So that's step one. I've just realised something that I've totally ridiculously forgotten. This is not, obviously, those who have been paying attention know that this is never going to go to Juno. Because I've forgotten a fairly fundamental issue with this space plane. But a similar one can. It can be done. But for now, let's just see if we can get a... Mark 1 is going to be our prototype. It's going to get into low curve in orbit and back down again. And I'll be happy with that, because it's been a while since I've built one of these guys. I'm going to have to... So, the trick to this is to get over 400 meters per second so that the rapiers really get the goods going, because they get more efficient at that speed. And we want to be out of the thickest part of the atmosphere that's indicated here. I'm okay with losing speed, because what I want to do is get above this threshold here and then nose down to get the speed up. Yep, it's going well so far. Fingers crossed. I mean, I don't know actually. Nuclear engines are so efficient. Let's see what delta V we've got once we're up. Let's see where we can go. It should do Mimbus, no problem. And if it can do the moon, technically it can do Juno. But Juno is a bit more of a challenge, so... So what's your next mission then, ES? What's the plan? Sorry, hang on a minute. I'm just gonna... You're next to Mimbus, right, okay. Cool. I want to just drop master volume down a smidge. No, actually I won't. What I'll do is leave that where it is and just drop the spacecraft down 10%. And that didn't seem to do much difference at all to me, but anyway. Goal for this ship is low curve in orbit and then see what we've got left. So I reckon this should do Mimbus, and I'm interested to know if it's able to do Juno. It might. Just. Or the moon. Just. But it's a bit optimistic because I haven't designed it properly. Yeah. I have to get the nose down a bit and get some speed going. It's been too inefficient a profile, really. I needed to be more efficient. Wasted too much fuel. If I get the nose down, we should get the speed up and we might be able to salvage this, but I doubt this will get... Well, we'll see. It might do members. Need to get to 440 or so, and then we'll have the thrust to pull up, but it's been too inefficient. So once this is at 440, we'll be at sort of the closest maximum amount of thrust that the Rapiers can give us. Trying to save my height, my altitude. Let's see, we might be able to get this. Let's see. Let's get that height up. Nose up, speed up. Yeah, I want to get a stable. I want to be stable, so I want to be over 70 all the way around. But we'll see. I mean, this is sandbox mode, so I'm just playing here, really. I don't... You know, we don't get anything for getting to orbit or anything, but I think if people are keen to see it, like Terminal, and if you want to, you know, if you want to see me do a science playthrough, I'm totally up for that because I love this game. Where are we with? Well, we're 2.5 hours in, and to be honest, I could have been here for 5 minutes for all I could have told you. This is just so much fun. And this is the trouble we've got, because now, of course, our problem is that we're still in quite a thick part of the atmosphere at high speed. So what I'd like to do, I'm going to try and maintain this, because we need the speed before we go to the rocket mode. You can see our thrust is starting to drop now. That's because we're running out of air and the air's more rarefied at this altitude. Let's hit the nukes as well. time to apoapsis, 30 seconds, 29. So I think when that's at 15, I'm going to light the engines. Going to switch them over to rocket oxidizer mode. Oh, they're going to do it themselves. Bugger. Okay, we need height. We need height for this. We need to get out of the atmosphere. It wasn't really intentional. I was trying to get the speed up, but yeah, I misjudged it. It took too much. That's not what I wanted to do. Took too much fuel. This has not been an efficient profile. But basically what I was trying to do is get the speed up to 440 without getting the nose too high. What I should have done is gotten out of the thicker atmosphere and sped up. So it wasn't done right. Now the question is, will we make it? We might just. I think we will. So we're at 60 kilometers. But it's cost us quite a lot. So yeah, this will comfortably do Minmus, I reckon, but I think the moon is not going to happen. Grade now and focus on the speed. We're more or less there. So yeah, it would have been better to get out the thicker part of the atmosphere and then accelerate. I was trying to do too even a thing where it would have been better to make it a bit more of a step up, get out of that thick part of the atmosphere. Live and learn, practice. Let's there we go. How are these doing? These are closed and these are air breathing. Wait, no, they're open and air breathing. Okay. Let's disable those engines. So I've got a little bit of oxidizer to help me on a landing. And so, modifications for this plane. What do I need? There's two ways I could do it. One, I could put IRSU, so I can mine at Minmus. If I land at Minmus, mine, I can then go to Juno quite easily. That's option one. Option two, with a bit of tweaking and a bit of improvement on the flying skills, I should be able to land this on the moon or Juno relatively easily. Yeah, they would help. What you mean for the return, or for the for the flight up to sort of get rid of some of that excess heat on the on the liftoff. On the liftoff, you know, on the flight profile as you go through the atmosphere. We've got PVs, I think. Yeah, so we've got panels. So we've got that. So we can, I forgot to put the next group on them, but we can enjoy some electricity, power on Netflix. "13 seconds, so here we go. Oh, overcooked that a little bit, but we will manage. Right one didn't extend. No, it didn't, did it? What's that all about? There we go. I might put some nice mods in as well. Some real plume or some cloud mods. We'll have to test see how the laptop does. It's quite a decent laptop, but you know, recording, streaming, playing this, mods, it would be easy to overcook things. So, here we go. So we've got buckets of Delta V here. So what have we got? We've got 2,900 Delta V. So, they ain't going to do the moon, really. I mean, there are players out there that could probably do it. What do we need? I don't know. Do we want to try it? Could it be done? Probably can. Your liquid fuel. Alright. What mods did you do? Do you remember? I've had some visual mods done. I haven't really played with any functional mods. I did have. There was, and this was years ago. Don't know if it's still maintained. There was an extra planet pack that gave us a planet kind of like Dres. You wouldn't be able to do it, but it doesn't mean we shouldn't try. Met German airplanes down. Okay. Should we try the moon? I'm not sure we've got the Delta V for this. I'm not convinced that this can be done. Yeah. What does it take to land on the moon? Right, so let's see. So technically it takes 860 to get to the moon. Yeah. It takes 310 to circularize. So that's so 310, so 860, 310. Moon is better for the start for fuel reasons. Yeah, harder to land though, and more fuel to land on. More fuel used to land. So 863. So 863 plus 310. So we're 1170 or so. And then to land is 580. So 1170. Maths online. Jeez. Controls. They're not too bad. So we've got WASD for your pitch and roll. and space stages, and you've got like number keys for your action groups. Shift and control for throttle up and down. Pretty standard sort of basic flight sim controls, really. Not that hard. It's more about remembering to do the right things in the right order. 770, so 1670, 17, 17. This is where my mental arithmetic truly sucks. So 770 plus 580, 1750. Technically, this is possible. I don't like my chances. 11. Okay, so 1750 delta V. Well, hey, we can land there. We may not be able to get back. Big brain math, yeah. Otherwise known as like junior level mental arithmetic, but yeah. That's me. It's not my skill. So we're going to go for this. We might have to, next stream may have to be rescue Jeb or refuel this thing or something. But rescue missions are fun. So, let's kick this sucker off with our escape burn from Kerbal. Translunar injection burn. We'll make it. We'll make it. We will make it there. Whether we make it back, I don't like Jeb's chances, I'll be honest. But fortunately, unless you put mods in to do this, there's no... he can stay there as long as you like. He could even stay there without a spaceship and just land and just stand there on the surface of the moon forever. So we'll have time to send a rescue mission. So we could do that next time if we can't get him back. So that could be quite fun. If I remember... He crashed into the sun. How did he crash into the sun when he was aiming for Mimbus? I mean... Like, did it bug out and like yeet him into interstellar space, or what? What? How did you do that? I do love stuff like that, though. I have had it where I can't remember what I was doing. I think it was a docking. I was making a space station, and I docked quite a lot of parts together, and Kraken got it, blew it up, and yeah, a piece of the debris was flung out of the solar system. I mean, technically the game can't have anything go out of the solar system, but it was on an escape trajectory from the sun. So that was quite cool. Got into Minmus, glitched his solar panel into a mountain, it flung 90 million miles. Yeah. Quite unlucky to hit the sun though. Yeah, I've been sort of glitched into Interstellar and beyond, but yeah. It's part of the fun. I do like the look of space planes as well. Oh dear. You know, nuclear engines are great for fuel economy, but terrible for thrust to weight ratio. At least there's something that's stopping them spinning off forever. Yeah, like a fiery death. Oh dear. Kerbals are a different breed though, they love this stuff. They love the risk. Part of the game. There's no fate better for a Kerbal than death by fire or had a near miss by just barely inched his tree. Nice. That must have been quite impressive to watch then, because he went all the way into the dual system and then got glitched again into, or gravity assisted into the sun. Nice. Yeah, minions, yeah. That's it. Like, totally crazy, don't care. If they're having fun, you know, they'll just bounce off of things and it'll probably be fine. In fact, if there isn't already, there definitely should be a mod for turning Kerbals into the minions. If I had any talent for modding, I would definitely do that. Put little sound effects in. Okay. What's our encounter look like here? Could be better, could be worse. It's not too bad. Let's see. Ooh. Right, let's not completely blow it. Right. So. Can we do this? See, this is another new thing they've got. We've got fine maneuver nodes here. Which is really good. So we just got to edge this in to try and get this as cheap as possible in terms of .v. That's a bit safer. Right, I have to be reasonably precise with that one. It's nice and cheap, 19 meters per second. Let's set an alarm for it so I don't miss it. And Let's do the time warp again. You're back. Cool. So, alarm? Alarm? Yep, there we go. Did you go off? Not yet. 18 seconds. Right. So seconds worth of burn, so not much burn at all. Let's do it nice and slowly. It's just a jump to the left and then a step to the right. And then I forget all the words because that's about as far as I go. You just got the sun explosion. Well, you know, that's the dramatic bit, isn't it? Beautiful. Go. Right, so 360 to circularize. That'll leave us about 1500 or so, won't it? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I can't see this going too well, but we'll see. I'm loving this alarm clock though. Never used to have this without mods. So there's a mod called the Kerbal alarm clock. It sure made life a lot easier. I did actually try. I do also own this game on console, on Xbox. It is so hard to play without a mouse and keyboard. It does not lend itself well to a control pad. It really doesn't. It's borderline, I would say, impossible. So 1 minute 30 to then close. So 1 minute 30. So we're going to be doing 45 seconds. We want to. So, stable orbit, lovely, lovely. Come on, get down there. So how's the Minmus mission then? How's it going? Is it a rocket or a plane? I'm guessing rocket. Okay, so we're captured. SSTO, nice. Oh, so when you said earlier that that you were just getting to the moon. Is that like? I'm guessing that wasn't your first trip to the moon, was it? Or is it? If your second flight and your first trip to Mimas is an SSTO, then you're a natural. But then you've been giving me good advice, so you know what you're talking about. Okay. Coming into a nice, comfortable circular orbit about there. That'll do nicely. Right. 1800. Okay, so it takes 500 to land. Can this be done? Maybe. This is getting a proper save. Who dares wins. 5th trip to the moon, so kept landing on the dark side and accidentally reverting. Yeah, okay. And have you been to Mimas before as well? I think I'm just going to... Right. Almost. Oh, good luck. Good luck. You got this. Honestly, it's easier, as you know, I think. It's easier than the moon. It's harder to rendezvous, but easier to land. So if you're almost there, you're there. Oh no! That's never good. Oh, I've just missed my burn time. Never mind. It's just an indication anyway. So. Yeah, it's a real... So your landing thrust is your only thruster? Yeah, that's not recoverable. Do you get a quick save? Not ideal. Okay. Right, so I'm going to have to bleed off. This is going to be a bit of a balancing act, this, because I need to try and be as efficient as possible on this landing, which means leaving it to the last minute. But the trouble with that is it doesn't leave a lot of room for error. Clipping in the editor. Are we having cheese? Absolutely. Absolutely. I rather fear that Valentina and Bill here will be hitting the cheese pretty hard on the first attempt, but we'll see. Because I'm going to try and leave it to about the last possible minute. and that's a total eyeball guess. So 2000. Let's do this. Oh god, that's not slowing down very fast at all, is it? Oh god. You saw nothing. You saw nothing. Okay, so we need to go a bit earlier than that. Ah, the quick save button. Let's. Yeah, I knew we landed. Oh, we landed all right. Hit the gear. How do you even say that? Gruyere? I think that's right. Oh yeah, we hit that. Okay. Let's try and hit it a little softer this time. Maybe my quick save is even too late. Let's do a bit of time warping, physical time warp. Yeah, this is just not bleeding off the speed, is it? Oh! Why did it stop the... Oh, I hit control to do the time warp and it thrusted down. That is the problem that you have, is that... So to do physical time warp, you have to throttle down. And then you can't... Oh. So we have no way of speeding up time, I don't think. No. Okay, we'll have to be patient. Come on. We've got almost no oxidizer, and yeah, this is definitely not getting back. No way. So when I land, the trouble with landing a space plane like this on the moon, I'm not saying it can't be done, but you want to be bleeding off your speed with your thrusters, because obviously there's no atmosphere. You can't use your control surfaces to speed up or use the air to slow down. So you have to be going in backwards. So you're going to either slow down and... So the custom actions you can have in the action groups, when you're building your craft, you can set action groups in the same place. It's one of the tabs along up here where you have the pilot. You can choose your pilot and everything else, and you can, if you do them custom 1, 2, 3, etc. Quick save is too late. I'm dead. Okay. Des wins. Let's try that again. So yeah, you can, if you do custom 1, then that's your number 1 key, 2, 3, etc. And you can do all the numbers up to 0. Thank God for quick saves. So I reckon then that I'm so low that I'm going to try I'll do it on the light side. Oh, bit of glittering, glitching going on there, or a bit of. Yeah, no, I don't. I've never tried the number pad actually. I don't know, might work. But because I'm always on WSA and D for controls, like 1, 2, and 3, and 4 just work. Okay, let's try. Since we know we're not getting back with this thing, I am going to be happily using all the fuel, if it means. I get down, because what I want to do is I want to get this thing down safely, and then what we can do is try and design some sort of rover or something in a rocket that can come with a claw and refuel it. That's what I'd like to do. Although that will need to be next stream because I got work in the morning and it's midnight here, so. Well, it's not yet. It's 11:30, but it will be. I will let you know. Thank you, Terminal. Thanks for dropping in. Really appreciate it, and I will let you know how this crashing landing goes. I really must remember to. We did it our way, totally. That's it. Really must tell. You landed on Kerbin again. Wow. You wouldn't call it landing. Well, Kerbals call it landing if they survive, and probably even if they don't. So. It's part of the fun, isn't it? Man, I forget how much it takes to bleed off speed on this engine. I want the speed down. It's not the most efficient, but efficiency is gone now. I'm not worried about efficiency. I just want this thing to land. Yeah, I just put the gear down now because it's why not, right? I mean, there's no air resistance. Okay. Do, do, do. Need an action group for retracting these guys. Always forget that. Oh, we're 2,000. meters, 90. Whoa. Oh, too early, too early, too early, too early. So close, but I can't get back without the flipping. I nearly had it. I nearly had it. Got it this time. This time I got this. Man, I'm out of practice. I really thought I had that. I just got a little overconfident at the end, and I don't know what I was saving the Delta V for, because this thing is so not getting back. I don't think even the pros could get this thing back now. Okay. Got it back on 15% fuel. That's lots. That's good. I mean, look, I've probably got less than that now, and I haven't even landed where I'm going. No, that's good going. Well done. Well done. You see, it always feels good to get anywhere. Like, no matter how complex or trivial the mission, you know, it always feels good to get it. It's one of the best things about this game. Okay. Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh... My solar panels! Stop! Stop! Halt! Bloody computer's trying to do sticky keys. This is a problem with... Turn that bloody thing off. Off. Don't know how. No, I'll have to come back to turning that off. Well, damn it. No. Yeah, I really need to do that. Bloody Windows keybind alerts. I know I'm doing this now. I know I'm doing this. Sod the fuel economy. We are just going for this. Ah, dear. It's become a grudge match now. And the nuclear power, the nuclear engines give us electricity, so we don't need them open. We can just get back there. So yeah, the pop-up came up and it took context away, so I didn't have control. I was like, why isn't it controlling? And yeah, that was why. Yeah, they really are. I mean, to be fair, you know, I just landed a whole space plane on them, so you wouldn't expect them to survive. But yeah, they do. They fall apart and nothing. I mean, even a Kerbal can bounce off of them in a EVA and break them. It's a nightmare. And I don't think they can be repaired, can they? Because I know the engineers can repair stuff now, but I don't think they can repair them. And it's like the main thing you'd want to repair. It's those bloody solar panels. Four, 63, 60. Got this right. I'm quick saving here because we're close. We're close. Right. Oh shit, gear. No, 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 go away. Bloody sticky keys, don't you dare. No, don't you dare. Oh, shitballs. Not going well, not going well. Why is my mouse doing that? Stop it. No, wrong spin, not the right way. Ah, fuck. Fucking sticky keys are murdering me. I've got this. I have got this. No, 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 turn back that way. Oh, get down, get down, get down. Okay. I'm putting at least 2 of those deaths down to sticky keys. The rest were my incompetence. But we did it. Hey Terminal, you stayed for it. I knew. We got there. We got there. Come on, brakes. We have landed. Well, we're still rolling, which possibly not ideal. Couldn't he? So close. Yeah. I'm wondering if I dare just blip the engine just a bit. Come on. Stop. 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 I want a save. Are the brakes seriously not going to hold this up? Put me your panels and put a flag up, yeah. I would if I could stop this bloody thing rolling down the hill. I might just let it. It'd be good to take off, because if you can take off at a hill, that actually helps. So I'm just going to use the fuel and the engines to keep this at a nice slow pace. I have to say, wheels, brakes, they're the worst part about Kerbal Space. They've never fixed them. That wheels can't stop you rolling. It's really odd. Like, wheels are so fragile. The brakes are so crap. This is going to be like this, technically the slowest landing in history. It's like landing on a comet. Can't quick save while moving. I'm trying not to move. Take off the brakes. What, and roll it? It'll speed things up, I guess, but the risk being... I'm just petrified of blowing up now. It should absolutely be able to roll. First, yeah, fair one, Terminal, you're not wrong. Right, we're level enough now. We should be able to hold ourselves here. Really though? Yeah. Flipping hell. Everyone take a drink, eh? And hope to hell we don't wind up bouncing off and blowing anything up, because this is not a very flat area. Three hours later. I'm acutely aware that I still don't have a quick save, so essentially we have not landed. Gotta shave off some speed, this is dangerous. This has got to be good enough, surely. Yes! Yeah, IRSU. ISRU? Yeah. Then I could have returned, yeah, although they're bloody heavy. And you need loads of batteries. So, yeah, you're right. I absolutely should have, because then I could have mined, refueled, and gone pretty much anywhere. But there we go. Let's. Valentina's going to take the victory walk. Oh, nice. That was good, wasn't it? The ladder's not long enough. And, oh yeah, the panels. Good point. Thank you. Be embarrassing to run out of electricity and fuel, wouldn't it? Lower visor? No, we won't be lowering the visor. Oh no, that's the sun visor, isn't it? That's quite cool. I keep forgetting they've got all these new bits and pieces on there now. What are we saying here? First time lucky? And there we go. Right. Save. And I think that's going to call it for tonight. I think I've done enough damage. Never mind the fact that my flag's the wrong way around again. Thank you for joining. I have to say I've really enjoyed getting back into KSP, so I might well keep this as a Monday night thing. And next time, obviously, we'll have to come and rescue these poor Kerbals. Whether we do a refueler and refuel it, that's one option. Or we could drop a base nearby and a little rover to refill it, maybe. So, yeah, lots of options. I'll have a think, but, you know, by all means, drop in the Discord any ideas, any ways we can do this. It has been good fun. I'm glad you enjoyed it, so I'm really glad. And ES, thanks for joining. Thanks for your input. It's really helped. So yeah, I hope you'll join again, and see you next time. All right, take care now, and I'll see you next time.